Alright, for this project, we're going to make a picture of a house. And you're welcome to change anything that you want to change as we go. And if you don't change anything, that's fine too. Drawing skills are important, and you learn to draw by copying. We're going to go down here and put a dot. That's not very far up on the paper. Just put a dot, and then I'm going to put a line through there just like that. And for me, it's about 2 fingers wide. My fingers are big though. You can tell it's not a great big long line. And we're going to turn it into a rectangle. So I'm just going to go like this and this. Kind of flagpole straight to the corners. And if everything's not nice and neat and straight, it'll be fine, and you'll see why in a minute. Alright, go to this corner, and we're going to go this way. I'll let you see the motion, or I'll let you see before we draw it. We're going to go that direction. And then down here, we're going to go this direction. So watch as I do this. This way, this way, this way. Not very far. Let your eyes tell you. Your eyes are very powerful. You can tell more by looking than you can by listening. I can describe it with my words, but your eye will still be able to tell you a whole lot more. So just look. Now I'm going to come straight down, straight down. I'm sketching. That's just short stroke drawing. It gives me a chance to think about which way the line's going. Sketching is great. I do that most of the time. Alright, now 2 little flat pieces, and these lines are now going to be parallel, which means they're going in the same direction. This line and this line, these two, are going in the same direction. They're just spaced apart a little bit. I'm going to make a line flat across the top, down the side, and then I'm going to put this corner in there like that, and this one just runs over till it hits. On the bottom we can end that one just like that. We just put a little frame around this open door. An oval here and an oval there. And you don't have to do that. Just got some eyes peeking out of the darkness. Now we're going to put a doorknob on, and it's just an oval right here. And you might see a little bit of this part of the doorknob. That's pretty small. I'll let you get a close-up view of that for a moment. Now, if yours isn't exactly like that, it's okay. We're going to put a little bit of a curved line right there. I'll show you. Just right like that. That's the doorknob on the other side. I drew that a little big. I think it'll work. And then we'll put the threshold in this door, just a flat line like that, and then I'll put these dots to show maybe it's bolted down or screwed down. Alright. Now, whatever you're doing right now, just come back to that later. Let's draw together for a moment. Alright, I want to come from this corner. I want to come out. It doesn't really matter how far, just don't go to the edge. And then I want to go down. Stop. Slant. Stop. We're going to do this 3 or 4 times. It doesn't matter if you go back a little bit or out a little bit. just as long as each of these lines goes in a different direction. And it don't even have to be the same number. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 so far. I'm going to end up with a couple more, 5. And then it can just go off the edge of the paper or stop and go down. It really doesn't matter as long as this line generally goes this direction. We'll do the same thing on the other side, but this is a little bit tricky, so watch. We're going to go back to this point, and then we're going to jump straight across. Jump straight across. Put a dot right there, which is a place where we're going to hook on, and we're going to go out this way, but don't go to the edge. And it's the same thing. Down, change directions, 3, 4, 5, 6. That ought to do it. Okay, now we'll come back to that in a minute, but next we want to put a couple lines that slant. Let's see. Let's go above the door. Let's go above the door and come over and put a dot there, and then come over and put a dot there. So let your eyes tell you what to do. If I slide up and down, you can see I'm wider than the door with these 2 dots, and I'm above the door. So I could lay my hand between them on mine, and here's how they line up. But we're going to bring them down this way. We're going to slant. So I'm going to put a dot there. That's my target. And I'm just going to sketch that down like that. I'll put a target dot over here, and I'm not too worried about how this turns out because it's all kind of twisted and bent and leaning, and I missed my dot, but it's what I want. We'll come straight across here like this. I'm going to slide down this line and put a dot there. I'm going to jump over, one there. Here are my 2 new hook-on points. We're going to hook on to those points and do 2 lines. The lines are going to go like that, like that, like that. And they're going to slant back down. Just slant them in like this, and it doesn't matter where they hit down here. It just really does not matter. Just hook on to the end of this line and bring it down, and it doesn't matter where it hits. Alright, put your finger on that line and slide. This would be perpendicular, by the way. We're going to the line, and we're going to jump away from it and put a dot that if we drew a line, it would come right straight down and hit it. Well, technically at 90-degree angles, but it's not that important. The main thing is that you get a triangle up here. Triangle here, and we're good. Now, do we want a triangle up here? You know what? Let's slant that way, and let's slant this way through the corner. You can see I got a little piece hanging over right there. And then we can just join them up at the top. It doesn't matter how perfect these lines are because this is all crooked and leaning. So it's fine. Here's a chimney. And if you want the 3D edge, here's how you get it. You put a short line. See how long this line is? You put one beside it that's about half that long. And then you slant to hook them up. Way early for detail, but I think it'll look good. So we put maybe 3 or 4 lines across there, and then 1 in the middle, and then 2 away from the middle. 1 in the middle, and then, well, we don't have room for a lot. But anyway, you get the idea. You we can bring these back down like that. You don't have to. It gives it a little bit, just a little bit of 3D, and you know I just love 3D, so could hatch that in a little bit just to show that it's in a different plane. I'm just going to put a round window in here. Oh wow, I impressed myself with how round that was. Okay, and then I do it again. I'm going to put another circle around the circle, kind of give it a frame. This is a window. If you want windows anywhere else, well, there's a few places to put them. We could put them over here or here, maybe both. I don't know, let's see. I think I want to put a long rectangular window like that. And if you're worried about, well, that's not straight, no, it's not. Because this is just a creepy old house. If you want the frame, just go around it again. I'm drawing very, very fast, so yours can be however you make it. And I'll wait just a minute and let you get caught up. We'll go over here and do the same thing. Just a rectangle with the frame. A little bit crooked here and there. We're not too worried about that. And I'm just watching the time, so we can't waste a lot of time on detail. We get the big things first. Now over here, I'm going to put some square windows, but again, they kind of follow the way that this leans, and it's all the same thing. A square, rectangle, whatever shape you draw, then a few detail lines. If these aren't nice and straight and neat, well, in this case, it's going to be great because none of it is supposed to be all that nice and neat and straight. Well, neat maybe, yeah, I like neat. But it's all crooked and leaning. Alright, I'm going to put a broken window in here. Now there's an easy way to do this. But if you're still working on Windows or anything else, just stop and let's work together if you want a broken window. Now if not, you can go ahead and make up your own stuff. I put a big W on the bottom, right inside of that circle. I put a big M right over top. See the M? See the W? I put a V that's fallen over right there, kind of like an arrow tip or a point of some sort. And then to help the effect, I put just a few little squiggly lines coming off the corners, because when glass breaks, you normally get these fractures that travel out through the glass away from the break. We can put some lines coming down the house like that, like it's got tin on the roof or something. It's just really detail that you can put on or not. It's your decision. Okay, I'm going to go, where am I going to go? I'm going to go down here and I'm going to put a rectangle under this door. And this is the first step. It's just a rectangle just like that. Okay. Now you may be running into your door right here. In a minute we'll be down here and it'll all work out better. But here's how you turn a rectangle into a step. You go back to the bottom corner and you stretch it out on both sides. Now if you're running into the door, you may have to wait until you get down a little bit further, but you put a rectangle under that one using those two pieces that you stretched out. So now we have another rectangle. Go to the bottom of the rectangle and stretch it out on both sides. Come down for the step, down for the step. Actually, you're looking at the back of the step. The flat part of the step is not seen in this view. We could do that, but we would need the entire time pretty much just to draw the steps. Okay, it's the same thing. Stretch it out, bring it down, bring it down. Here's a new rectangle, and each one gets a little bit bigger. Stretch it out, down, down. Because the steps are coming forward, they're getting closer to you. They don't really get bigger, but they appear to get bigger, and that's part of the illusion that helps it be 3D. It's the same thing. Stretch it out, turn it into a rectangle. We could come all the way down with that. Actually, I think I will. This is time consuming. It's just repeating what we're doing. Now, if yours get ridiculously big, well, that's probably okay too. I think that last one's going to be huge. Okay, here's one more thing that will help the effect, and you can just draw a line in the direction of these corners. And if yours is not straight, that's okay. Everything here is all kind of twisted up. Okay, now what about this stuff over here? We just go back, catch on to everywhere these lines come together to a little point, and just put another contour line, just showing the contour of that surface, or in this case, this rocky thing this house is built on. And we could get fancy and do some other things in the background, but I'm afraid we're just not going to have time. We're going to have to put a couple lines across there, kind of separate the foreground from the background. And the coloring can be entirely up to you. If you wanted more rocky little pieces, you could just hook on in here anywhere, come out, and when you come back, slant, and then come down. You can do that again. Now, if this confuses you, just don't do it. You can ruin, well, not ruin, but, you know, it's not going to help if you make a mess over here. But if you want to try it, I mean, it's okay. It's art. I love cliffs. I just love this stuff. Alright, so it's like we've got this sitting up on a rock. What else? We could put more windows up there, maybe a couple small square ones, maybe not. Now we're down to some detail that really we could do without. But if you want to put it, I think it looks pretty good. Alright, how are we on time? We got just, well, I want to have some time to color. Alright, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to just go way up, and I'm going to put a horseshoe shape. Kind of like a real tiny rainbow. Oh, wow, that's small. And I'm going to bring it around as if I'm going to make a circle, but I'm not really going to connect those. And then I hook on, just watch. Now if you're still working on the steps or the cliffs and you want this spooky thing coming out of the chimney, here's how you do it. Get this, it kind of looks like a grape that's got the end missing, chopped off or something. And I'm going to come around like this, like the front of a letter D, like a letter C, and then I put 1 point there and 1 point there. Those are hook-on points. It gives me a target so that when I bring this next curved line around, I can aim at those points like that. Yeah, it's like somebody with their arms stretched out over their head. And then I go back to this point, I curve it out, I curve it in, curve it like that. Some detail on the face if they're, well, if you want a face on yours. You don't have to. Maybe a bat, maybe a very, very quick bat that flew out of this window. So here's the circle, coming away from the circle and putting a dot. Now I came pretty far. Curve it this way, curve it that way. Now just let your eyes tell you what to do. I can tell you with my words, but your eyes can tell you better. And we're not going to get too fancy with the wings on this one. We're just going to stretch them out this way and that way. And we're going to take the shortcut and just put these little umbrella shapes back toward the body like that. We didn't put the extra little joint in the wings this time. We kind of took a shortcut and left those out. But it still looks a lot like a bat. Well, it does. If yours don't, sorry about that. But it should. If you got two stretched out wings with these little umbrella shapes under them, it should work. Then a couple triangles for the head. On the head for the ears. And some detail. If you do the face gray, that will still show up. If not, well, black will cover it up. So we put motion marks. Illustrators have been doing it forever. It shows that something is moving. And there you go. Got this creepy old house. Color it any way you want. If you want to put some trees back in here, that's fine. You don't have to. For my trees, I just do simple things. Or it could be a row of bushes. It's up to you. Maybe that. Gives you a place to put some fall colors. I love the fall colors. And with that, I think I'm going to call it finished. At least mine. Alright, now if you made changes to yours, that's great. If you tried to copy me, well, I hope it turned out okay. Didn't leave a lot of time for coloring. Hopefully if you wanted to do creative thinking, you changed some things as you went along with me. And listen, I just hope that turned out well, and I hope it was fun. Thank you very much.